Oh, this is monumental.
This is a long time in the making, right?
Time to make it, man. I'm probably a little bit too humble now, but yes, this is a long time in the.
Man. All right, let's do it, man.
Let's
Ladies and
go.
gentlemen, I got a first time guest on the podcast, man. This is somebody who I don't know, some people may be shocked to hear us recording together. I don't know. All I can say, man, is yeah, man, time is a motherfucker. But I got Mr. Peabody himself from Social Complex. What's going on, bro?
Man, what's going on, man? This is probably a shockwave to a lot of people, especially in the Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. So I wanted to start this series, man, on just talking to creatives about their creative process, the space that this has put us all in, man. And I picked 3 people specifically. You were at the top of the list, because conversation is long overdue. I think we planned to do something like at some point last year, and then just schedules just didn't line up. But man, I think this is overall like a good thing to happen to A, show growth, B, it like petty shit, bro. Like, to just be honest, we ain't gonna get it all into all this shit, but like, it's funny how like
let's get into it, man.
because like I think anybody who knows me and you, and like Avery said this when I first met Avery, and she was like, you and Peabody need to sit down and have a conversation. This was before anything. She was like, you guys are so much alike, and I think it's just funny, right? Because I think anyone who, like I said, who knows both of us, several people said, Beck has said it from the team podcast, like, how do you guys not get along? You guys like the same person. It's crazy, bro. So like, yeah. So I mean, shit happens, man.
Shout out to Becky, and she about to have a baby, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It has been long overdue. Shout out to Avery. She's the one who, first. Yo, to be honest with you, quick off the record, we knew each other before anything ever happened. I think I had made a group me like almost 3 years ago. And it one day I was going through it maybe about a year or two ago, and I was like, yo, I've been knowing this dude, you and maybe about 3 other people without knowing y'all. Like, we were in the same group. Yeah. Just didn't know. I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, for sure.
But shout out to Avery, man. She was like, yeah, I don't know how y'all, don't get along. and y'all the same 2 people. I was like, man, I just don't know. I was like, man, blame social media, yo. Social media has been a gift and a curse, yo.
Yeah, for sure. I think, because I think like with social media, the thing is that like people are automatically like, for some reason in this podcasting space, like they act like everybody has to be in competition when there's more than enough people for everybody to get downloads. Like, that shit is wild, first of all. Yeah. But then on top of that too, is like, I think the thing that it started is because we are so similar, right? Is when we both were on UML, that it was that thing of like people looking like they're both on the same thing, and it was like, I mean, what? There's enough space for all this. Like, it turned into some shit, fam. And then I'm one who in the last year or so I've admitted, like, at one point in time my ego was fucking out of control, bro. Like, in the sense that
same.
Yeah. I know how good I am with this, and I think that I took that. I let that get out of control sometimes. So like, it's just good to have space away from shit and look back and just see like, damn, nigga, I was tripping. Like, for real. I can.
Oh yeah. And, there were times where I was like, fam, even while we was going back and forth, while we were doing it, I was looking back and like, dog, we really arguing over Twitter right now. I could easily just put the phone down and do this, but my ego's like, nah, keep it going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dog, now that you look back at it and it's died down, it's like, what the fuck were we doing, yo?
Exactly. Because I think we left money on the table, bro, because there was a time period, and it, like, us working together, collabing could have been fucking monumental. You feel me? At one point, so it was like, I don't know, man. And then I think also there was this even before me and you had our back and forth, that there was this like perceived beef when there never really was. I remember when I started the Breaks Media, it was right before you announced you were going to be on UML, and I was planning on reaching out to you and be like, look, this is what I plan on
I heard
starting.
about that.
Yeah, and it's so funny
I
because it's
heard
like
about that.
people
Somebody told me
when
about that.
people at first were like, do you and Peabody not care for each other? I'm like, little do y'all know I was planning to reach out to work with this man. So I think
Yeah,
like, and then other people getting in the mix being like, oh, I heard y'all don't like each other. And then you start thinking, well, do we not like each other? Like, what the fuck you talking about? So
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
No, man. Like I said, social media is a motherfucker, man.
That's for
It
sure.
can break you or it can make you, especially when people are behind your ear or like inside your ear,
Yeah.
and you just gotta talk to like the main source. And I mean, I can honestly say, uh, I was an asshole, bro, and I apologize. Most definitely.
Me too,
It was
bro.
one thing, like I said, we were on the same network, and it's like, dog, why the fuck did it not work? It like should have worked. So whatever, man.
Definitely, man. I apologize too, man. Like that. Like looking back though, it's just like wow. And then we both
It
have
was,
like the same mentor, like with Poindexter and shit. Like we both look up to Poindexter, and to his credit, he kind of just stayed out of it. He was just like, look, I ain't
he
got
did,
time for
he
this
did,
shit.
he did.
But
He did.
yeah, this shit's crazy, man. But I'm glad we've like took that time. We both grown, man. Like you've become a father. What's that like, man? Like I've been a father for most of my adult life. My oldest
I
was born when I
see,
was
man.
19, man. So like, what is that
Got a
adjustment
lot of
been like?
kids out there.
Yeah,
It's a blessing, bro.
yeah.
It's humbled me a lot. In like my work life, just outside of I guess the social media, and I'm kind of toned down on social media. It's it's a no words that I'm trying to express right now can make it into one sentence. It's just I try to post pictures to show people how me being a father is, but there's every parent, whether it's father or like mother, has their own story
Mm-hmm.
to how they are good parents.
Yeah.
And for me, it's changed me, drastically. I was somebody, and I've probably talked about this so many times now. I was my own worst enemy. I think I made a post not too long ago. I was my own brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I've made excuses for me not to finish school. And I would get tired of, seeing people graduate, and I'm African. So for me, the mothers and fathers, they want to see their kids succeed and graduate. The main reason why your parents, if you're African, come from overseas to America is to have a better life and to provide for like their, children. And for me not to finish school every year, whether it's high school and seeing kids go to college, or from them going to college to now graduate, I still haven't graduated. And, with my daughter being here, it was like, yo, I gotta straighten the fuck up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I I thought it was hard, but I went to the school, talked to the counselor, figured out how many more hours I needed, what hours or what classes transferred over. And she's made me a better man, not even father, just a better man. If you were to step on my shoes or to talk bad about me, I would probably get upset and do things I probably shouldn't have done. With her, it's more so I can turn the other way and just live life, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Kids have that way of like centering you, right? And for me, I was still a young hothead when my oldest was born, because I was 19. But when my daughter was born, that's what. And I'm not saying it's because she was a girl. I just think combination of where I was in life and just reviewing things, it was like,
Yeah.
all right, I need to start getting my shit together for real. And it's crazy. People would be like, oh, it took for you to have kids to get your shit together. But hey, fuck it, at least I got it together. But it really,
Everybody's story is different, man.
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes you need that, child to make you step your game up. And like you said, having a girl, I don't know how it feels to have a, son. How I see you post pictures all the time, and it's like every man wants a son.
yeah.
It's just call for what it is. Everybody wants a son. For me, I found out I had a girl, and I wouldn't trade her for anything in the world, man.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And like it's funny because like you guys like, as far as I know, the first podcasters have a baby together and stuff. So it's like it's like your baby's been in the public eye literally since she was born because you guys are both on social media and
Yeah.
shit. So it's like we've gotten to see her grow up. So that's definitely beautiful, man. And you know how do you feel now that being a father has helped you or changed you creatively, like with what you do with your podcast and your platform?
I've given my co-host more. I've given him like the keys.
Okay.
I think before I really didn't have, like I said, I didn't have a child. Social Complex was my child. How I loved it. I wanted everything to go through me first. Now with my daughter being born, I've given Marcus, my co-host, the creative space to take the keys. I know right now we're doing like sneaker battles via Instagram, and that's his idea. People thought it was my idea. You know, yes, I'm a big sneakerhead. I have shoes for days, but nah, that's his idea. That's
what's up.
That's his realm now. You know what I'm saying? And I think for me, I was kind of stubborn in that way. Everything had to go through me. You know what I'm saying? I made the name. It was branded. The logo. Everything was me, 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 me. With her now, it's more so like, yo, I've learned, you know, patience is a virtue. And I've heard that before, but I've used it in so many other terms. I've just never used it in the podcast realm. And I've let him take over, and not saying I'm in the back seat, but it feels good when you know that you're not the only person putting in 100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, like, you know, I have this podcast solo, but like the other ones that I do, that I have, like, at this point now, the Breaks Radio, which is my hip hop podcast, that's like Mary's podcast, because I get like, it's all built around her. She's the legit one. Like, hell, she worked for Hot 97 for years. So it's like, I feel like I defer to her. But it's good to have a team when you can have one. So like, and I remember like Social Complex was one of the first in like our group of, cause you know, podcasts, there's hundreds and thousands of podcasters, but like in the circle that we run in, it was you guys were one of the first ones to use video consistently. Like, how do you see that now? Like, coming now into 2020, almost every major podcast that's successful has a video element. Like, you were one of the first ones that I saw like use it as consistently what you do. So how does that make you feel, like that you guys are kind of one of the first ones to do it?
It's cool, man. It's always good to listen to a podcast at work or like you're driving, but you know, there's something called facial expressions.
Yeah.
You know, people are laughing on the pod. You want to know what they're laughing at. And you know, people love audio, people love visuals. I know for me, if I'm at the crib, ironing my clothes or just cleaning, I want to watch what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I think for us, you know, we also have to, you know, we have a Facebook group as well. And you have to listen to your audience. It's not just what you feel is going to be successful. It's what your audience feels as well. For sure. They're the ones that's giving you the views, giving you like the listens. And we started off on SoundCloud. I think you were the one who introduced me to Point Dexter, because like, yo, SoundCloud's numbers aren't always accurate. So I was like, okay, cool. So I give you credit for that as well. So I was like, hey, you know, let's bring in the visuals as well. And of course, we all know the Joe Budden podcast. I mean, I'm not the first one to come up with the idea. I saw it from them. I saw it from like the Breakfast Club. You want to see what Charlamagne is fucking laughing at, his facial expressions. So, I mean, visuals is always a key element to anything that you do, no matter what it is. People want to also see you as well. That's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, eye candy, you know, or a handsome young guy. Hell, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let me see it now.
So we've been in the pandemic basically for all this year, and this is kind of what got me started. Is like there's a lot of new creatives now that are popping up. So I wanted to have these conversations with other creators, because especially ones that are like established and have been doing this for a while. What has the pandemic taught you about yourself as a creative? What have you used it to, you know, strengthen? take away if you notice something that wasn't working that now you've had more time to take away. I know you've empowered Marcus more, which is great, especially since he came up with the sneaker joint, because that's like verses for sneakerheads, and I love that shit, man. I love it. But
Yeah.
what else have you learned about yourself as a creative in this pandemic?
Getting more creative. I bought me a camera.
Okay.
So I noticed, quality is everything.
Mm.
So I had to do research, and like I said, right now we're doing the whole IG. The pandemic, I think, and I can probably speak for everybody underground, unless you are getting paid or getting sponsored by Spotify or just by one of like the big marketers, you still had a building. You had something still funding. We had to take a break from that. You know what I'm saying? The pandemic hit everybody. We are typically a guest-based podcast.
Mm.
And Zoom doesn't work for everybody.
That's a fact.
It just doesn't. I mean, I don't care what you say, it just doesn't. Even for a second, the building that we were recording in, they had to stop as well. So we did the whole Zoom. We did the IG live, and it fucking worked. But I think for me, now that I bought the camera, now that I've also sat back during the pandemic, watched you, watched you, of course. Everybody, I'm gonna give a shout out to all y'all motherfuckers. I might not be, but I see y'all, okay? Yeah. I see y'all. And like major props to y'all. Y'all have still been able to give out content during this pandemic. And it's hard, y'all, because now you have to work with people's schedules. People's schedules change now.
Yeah.
And for me, it's or for us, I think I've just sat back and we are still doing the IG content because it's easy, but it's hard at the same time, because you have to give out Twitter for us, and maybe Marcus can agree, that's our least active source of activity.
Mm.
Facebook and IG are our number one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we have to accommodate for everybody. So what may work for others may not work for y'all. You know what I'm saying? And for us right now, we're focused on Facebook and IG right now until the pandemic kind of opens up a little bit more. So for right now, we just been sitting back. I've been taking my notes. I bought the camera, so I'm trying to get my whole setup now, like yourself, of course. And I bought 2 cameras. So I'm just trying to see how I want to work with the cameras and also include Marcus in as well.
Yeah, that's what's up. Like, yeah, video is going to be, especially going forward, going to be huge. That's why I've invested so heavily in it as well. Yeah, it's what I can tell you, like, too, with like cameras, once you like really get into them, bro, that I was looking at it when I first started, like a fucking deer in the headlights. I didn't know what I was doing when I started editing video, but it was like it's come to me now naturally, and it's like just an extension of what I do. But video is gonna be huge for everyone.
People love videos, yo. I mean, I'm a big sneakerhead. Some of these sneakerhead podcasts is cool, but when you sit down and watch them, I don't want to hear you talk about all the biohacks or ones. I want to see what the fuck they look like. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I want to see, I want to see the buttery feel on what you're pressing on the toe. I want to see that. I don't want to hear you talk about it, yo.
Yeah, for sure.
So most definitely, visuals is very, very big. And shout outs to like the ladies who are also doing visuals too. I'm all big up for, ladies, especially like my black ladies. Shout outs to y'all. But sex sells.
Yeah.
It's nothing to hide. We see these ladies or we hear them. We want to see y'all.
Yeah.
Point blank clear.
Yeah. And that ain't nothing left to say with that one. We definitely want to see it. Like you said, for me, a podcast that I can give an example on. Like, I listened to the 85 South show one time and I couldn't stand it. Like, I don't know what it was about it. when I saw the video though, I was like, oh, these motherfuckers is funny as hell. Like it's so funny
Yeah,
how it changes the dynamic of it. So yeah, it just
gives it
depends
life.
on the content. Like some I can listen to and I don't care to see. Some I have to see the video. If they got video content, I have to see it. Joe Budden is another one for me with that. So what like you got the cameras. Now you used to record in the studio and go to a building. Now that that's been taken away, are you starting to like when everything's over with? Are you going to have you planned to like build your own studio now in your house and have your own space? Or you plan on going back once it's
Most
over?
definitely, man.
Yeah,
I think, and to go back to your question, the pandemic, not so much what have I gained from it, but what have I learned. You don't need to go to a studio, and I think you've probably preached about that maybe like a year or two ago.
yeah,
You don't need a studio. You can create your own studio, man. It's just how you want to set up, and you have a vision. Instead of you paying people to edit for you, to have a setup for you, have your own setup. Save money, man. I mean, we were giving out damn near $150, almost $200 a month. For what? You know what I'm saying?
damn, yeah,
Uh, Save up, get a camera. I think the camera I bought cost about $800. And yes, it's a lot up front, but if you were talking about 150 to $200, that shit adds up. You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure, yeah,
So make your own setup, man. And another thing, we don't need guests all the time. You know, our content creates itself. Sometimes, and I'm going to say this in confidence, man. Shout out to all my guests who have been on there. I love every single last guest, man. But fuck these guests, man. They
I feel it.
value, and I say that to say you can have somebody. And I'm not going to say names, but they can have a huge following, have over 100,000 true followers, not paid followers.
Mhm.
But their content sucks. So yes, you got them on the show because they have a big following. They come on the show. You're going to assume that's going to bring you more followers or more listens. And when they get on there, they don't have that same energy.
Yeah,
So now you're just talking to a brick wall. So also, just talking to Marcus, man, I think we can just do our own thing, which we have been. But I think you don't have to have a guest every time.
for sure.
You know,
For sure. That's something that I've done too in 2020 is like I I don't use I used to have guests on every episode. Now I think
yeah,
I've had like maybe 10 all this year. And that's because I when I do have one on, I want it to be a reason rather than just to have a guest to have one. I want it to be a
yeah,
reason to how adds to the content. And I really like I used to try to get bigger guests and like you said, but like really I love working with early on podcasters, other podcasters that are on our level because like we just have fun doing it. Like the other people, like some of the bigger ones, like they treat these guest appearances like you're supposed to roll out the red carpet for them, and it's like
facts,
let's just have fun and
facts.
have a conversation. So I feel
Let me
definitely
ask
feel
you a
that way.
question
Yeah.
because you brought it up to me earlier. How do you feel about all these podcasts coming up, man? It's like fucking exaggerated, bro. I mean, like, do you feel that? And I don't want to say competition,
Uh-huh.
but you feel as if. So okay, I'm gonna put it out there for. I mean, since it's kind of new,
Mhm.
Tory Lanez.
Okay.
Tory Lanez, of course, put out a new album. We all know what happened. There's so many podcasts talking about it.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, whose content do I listen to? Because you're going to hear the like same shit on every podcast. It's just that whose delivery is going to make it come to life.
Yeah. Man, so this is what I could say, and I hope I don't. Well, if I offend somebody, fuck it.
Fuck them, yeah.
Yeah, I don't listen to new podcasts until they like 15 to 20 episodes in because so many pop in 10 episodes they gone. So like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
invest my time in someone who I don't think is gonna be around for a while. Vivi, for example, from Not Perfect Just Broke. Like we've been interacting on Twitter for the better part of a year, and I just started listening to her podcast maybe like 3 months ago and it's not because of her content was whack or anything, but new people pop up all the fucking time and disappear. So I caught up on all the season 1 before she started the new season because it was like, all right, you've been around for a while, we've been interacting, I need to listen to what's going on, but I don't try to jump on on new podcasts immediately, like, or listen to
Yeah.
them. Like, some reach out, if they reach out and say they like, if they retweet my show, say they listen, I'll definitely give a listen in, because I'm only, you know, you listen to me, so I can give you my time to listen to you back then. But I mean, ultimately, I don't really listen to a lot of new podcasts, and I think what that's done for me, like having a lot of podcasters, like you said, they all talking about the Tory Lane shit, is I now gear my content to be different, so I stand out. Like, there's 150 people talking about Tory Lanez. I'm gonna throw you a curveball. I'm not even gonna talk about Tory Lanez for real in this episode. Or if I do, it's gonna be such a minuscule part. I'm not even gonna put it in the description. You may catch it, but what I'm mainly pushing is what I'm talking about that's not Tory Lanez. So
Facts.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we gotta, yeah, man. It makes it hard to stand out. And don't get me wrong, like, I get it. Podcasting is fun, especially if you're passionate about it. It can be a form of therapy too.
Mm-hmm.
But like, people like who are popping into this thinking that they're gonna automatically get, like, they're gonna get that Spotify deal all of a sudden. It's like, come on now, man. Let's be real. Let's be real. I've been at this for 3 years, and I got the Disney Plus sponsorship. That shit took forever. Like, that shit took 30 emails, bro, for me to get that shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But like, I know how hard it was just to get that. I'm not thinking about no, like, I make good money in my career. Like, if I was doing this just to get rich, I would burn out. I do this because I'm passionate about it.
Yeah. Like you said it, yo. That's the main thing. If you think you finna come in here and you one episode in and you reach 20, 30, 40 people that, hey, listen to my podcast because I'm going to get signed, that shit ain't gonna happen. Unless you probably know somebody, it ain't gonna happen, yeah.
Oh, man. No.
What's the girl, and I always use her as a example. I'm a fan of her on CNN, but not a fan of her podcast. Angela Rye.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Angela Rye, man. I love her. I love her work. But her podcast to me is not, y'all's podcast. Just a lot of underground podcasts are great and are better than hers, but name value, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But please do not, and it's for everybody who hears this, y'all. Do not think, and if you're a new podcaster coming in the game thinking you finna just kill it, if you're doing this because of money, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Facts. And you're gonna burn out super quick.
And like you said, it has to be, therapeutic. It just has to be something that you love doing, not because you're trying to do it to get money off of it. If you do it for that reason, you're gonna get burned out.
Yeah, hella quick. Like, it's funny to see people burn out, and then it's like, and that's not to say that everybody who burns out is like bad at this per se, but you can just tell, like, you can be good at something, but if your heart's not in it, you're gonna still burn out at it. And I've seen so much of that shit over like the last year and a half. It's just like, damn, man, so many come and go. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, podcasting can get kind of, it becomes a job.
Yeah,
sometimes
for sure.
And when you treat it like that, it does get boring. I mean, hell, I've been close to that several times before, but like you said, I have to know and think, why am I doing this? And I do it because I love it, not because I think it's a job. So, it's been some close calls for me. Other close,
I feel it. I feel it. Yeah, man. And I mean, me and you both have been on the other side of like social media drama, not even just with each other, but just in general. And it's just like, it really pushed it into perspective that it's like, I question, and this may piss some people off, but fuck it. Like, I question sometimes the people in this game who actually have a life outside of this. You feel me? Like, some of them have no friends in real life, and you can tell, bro, because they everything all evolves around the timeline on Twitter, and it's just like, God damn.
Man, I know a few people who don't like me, who I know you follow, man. So let me keep my fuck it. Let me not keep my comments to myself. Shout out to everybody who still screenshots and sends the mother of my child things. Me and her are on good terms, so I do know everything. Yeah. It's just I don't have the energy no more. Be like, after the whole debacle of me fucking up my home. Yes, I fucked up my home. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Maybe I'm a sick person inside. I kind of fed off that shit. You know what I'm saying? It was entertaining. I didn't feel upset about it, nor was I mad. It was more so, okay, cool. This is just new content for the pod.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought. Like, okay, cool. You're upset. Bet. Let me use that. It's new content. I made a whole fucking episode as to what happened. You know what I'm saying? It's people have too much time on their hands. It's I'm not gonna say it's old news, but hell, if you hate me because you hate me because of that reason, I understand. But people have way too much drama or way too much time to make drama on social media, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, we know who the ones are that have no they feed off what's going on in other people's lives because they must not have much going on in theirs. And like I mean, don't get me wrong, that's the shit that happened with y'all that ultimately was y'all. Yeah, it was put on social media and people responded and got involved and whatnot. Man. But at the end of the day, like that's up for you two to figure out. And it sounds like you did. You guys are on good terms. Let them be like. That's what I mean. If people still sending her shit, like that's just y'all got to be some sad ass people, man.
I would say like their names, but I don't know their social media names by heart. So guys, if I haven't paid that much attention to them, but I don't know their social media names by heart.
Fuck it, man. Fuck it. You know what? It's not even worth the time. Like for real, they don't even deserve to shine. Like for real, man. And the thing is, I think, and I like that you said that and that you admitted that, like. You had to grow from that. Like anyone who says that they haven't, of course, theirs isn't on social media and on podcasts because they probably weren't in that place. But we've all had that time or that relationship or that whatever that we've gone through. That it takes you to reflect on it makes you reflect on yourself and makes you reflect on your actions and just be like, damn, thank God I'm not where I was then. Like for real.
Oh yeah, learn a lot, bro. It's last year to this year was a wild. Well, yeah, it was a wild ride. So, I learned my lessons. Broke up a happy home, came back to the home. So, hey, now we here.
There you go.
So, it's crazy. Oh man, if I could write a book right now about that, whoo. Yeah, man. I salute. I say this on almost on every pod that I'm on now. I salute all the fathers and all the mothers, whether you're a single parent or you're out together. Being a parent is as good and as lovely as your child brings you. Being a parent is hard.
Yeah.
You have to learn not to be selfish.
For sure.
So your world is not resolved around you; it revolves around everybody now. So yeah, man, bro, this is a long time coming, bro.
For sure, man. For sure.
I am still shocked we're even doing this right now. Like, like a year ago, we were supposed to do it. I just don't know, man. I don't know why we didn't do this, yo.
Yeah, I honestly think it was like our schedules, and then we didn't reschedule, and then that was literally like I think like 3 weeks before the shit went down. So at that point, I really wasn't gonna try to reach out and reschedule it because it's like, damn, how insensitive.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I was walking inside the grocery store and you called and we were talking, yeah. And then a couple of weeks later, hey, Twitter, the atomic bomb dropped, and everybody went crazy. So It was I went incognito for a couple. I mean, Marcus was like, bro, don't go on social media. And I wanted to. I was like, man, fuck everybody, dog. Yeah. But nah, man. You live and you learn.
For sure.
You live and you learn, bro. Now I can joke about it. I can, get joked on and still laugh about it, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah, man. I think if nothing else, like for the ones that listen to this and know, like it just shows that black men, like, we can put our pride to the side, and that's real. That's I was when I tagged you and I was like, all right, he may either take this as me being petty, like this is just me going back to like when we had our little shit. I'm like, I hope he don't take this as me being petty, like legit. I want him on this episode. So then when you responded, you like get at me. I'm like, all right, good, we good. Like that is good.
Somebody hit me up. I think when I said, yo, get at me, or I said something, and I think old girl, she said something like, he just did. somebody was like, say, B, don't get upset. So I'm like, fam, like I'm not a monster. I'm not upset. I actually laughed at it, yo.
Yeah.
So
I knew what you meant by that, man. That's just,
yeah, man.
yeah. People will keep shit going, man. But like ultimately, I'm glad that we did this, man. We got to work together again, for real, like real talk, man. So on this, like, I want you, before we go into part, before you give your social media, man, any one piece of knowledge that you give to a creative who's thinking about, who's either starting, getting discouraged, wants to get into this game, what would be the advice that you would give them?
Cool. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Don't rush. Have a vision. Think about what you're doing. And please, from the bottom of my heart, money will always be there. Money will be there before you're born, after you die. The money's gonna be there. Okay. Do not do this for the money. Let that come on its own. Do this because you love it. And that's pretty much it. Do this because you love it. If you do this for money and you're trying to rush something, it's gonna be trash.
That's a fact.
Point blank, period.
Yep.
I'm not trying to be rude. Do this because you love doing it. Or if only one person listens to this every episode that you drop, at least you know you have one person that is anticipating your episode. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I've learned, hell, we live in Houston. Yes, our audience is big in Houston, but most of our listeners who actually contact us like, hey, why haven't you dropped an episode, is in California.
Mm-hmm.
And that just lets us know that, hey, you know, people listen because they like our content. So do it because you love it, man. Once you don't love it, like you said earlier, just stop. Save yourself the time, headache, just stop.
That's a fact. There you go. Well, that's been a conversation long overdue, man. Peabody, go ahead and give them your social media, man. Let them know where they can follow you in the podcast.
My social media, man, I'm so bad at giving out my social media, man. Ladies, please, when I give out my social media, please do not hit up my DM. Please, I'm repeating, do not hit up my DM. No, I'm playing. My individual DM, of course, is social_P. You can find me on that name on both platforms. That's Twitter and Instagram. As far as for the podcast, it's social_complex_. Just type in social complex. It pops up automatically anyway. And that's also for both platforms. CEO Haize, it's been a pleasure. Sure, once this drops or people even get a glimpse of it, I know people are going to be like, this is fake, right? We are not Donald Trump. This is not fake news. This is reality, folks. This is, this is reality.
Long overdue, man. Thank you, bro, for taking the time out, man. I do appreciate it, man. Like I said, we gonna be talking, man, because I think we need to work together more. So definitely.
Oh yes, man. Most definitely, man. Black people, I love you. Breonna Taylor, I love you still. I still love you.
There you go. That's it. Let's send it off on that. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.